Hey everyone. Today we're actually playing the second Dark Souls. So basically what I'll be doing here is sort of showcasing the strength of the Morning Star. Um, as you can see, my stats are kind of pathetic right now. I started as the Explorer. I kind of like tank builds in this one of them. Tank strength builds. And the Morning Star is a very solid weapon for that kind of a build. Because it only has strength scaling. It requires 7 dex, so if you start with the Explorer like me, you will have to put a point into dexterity. But also to use it one-handed, you will need 15 strength, but it would be a tank strength build, so not a big deal. So I like strength builds in this one because stuff breaks super easily. So having bigger weapons with higher durability is super nice. And as for the tank bit, every upgrade you give yourself improves your health. So vigor is kind of a joke, making tank builds way cheaper because you can just do vitality. So let's talk about the Morning Star. The Morning Star is a very solid weapon. It has reliable early game damage. It only requires 15 strength and 7 dex to one hand. Not a very pricey weapon stat-wise. It can literally be acquired as soon as you hit Majula. I don't know exactly how to explain it, but basically it's on the edge of a cliff. There's videos on it. Anyways, it's a very solid weapon, reliable damage early game. It's actually the second earliest weapon you can get. The earliest being a dagger. This is not including weapons you start out with. The dagger can be found in things betwixt in the very next area, Majula, the central hub of the game, like Firelink Shrine in the other two games. Yeah, it can be found in Majula, so it's incredibly early game. It's the second earliest weapon you can get. And it's really quite a solid weapon. If you like to bleed your enemies, not only does this thing do strike damage, the single strongest form of damage in all of Dark Souls. Oh yeah, I would review this in the third one, but I don't have it in the third one on any of my builds. I don't know how to get it. But yeah, regardless, it's a very solid weapon. The Morning Star has actually always been one of my go-tos in Dark Souls, although I've only ever found it in the second game. So yeah, it does bleed and strike damage. It can be acquired and used very early on. You will need 7 dex and 10 strength to two-hand it, or 7 dex and 15 strength to one-hand it. Which again, on a strength build, not that big of a deal. I much prefer its one-handed moveset. And honestly, I like this weapon enough that I want to figure out how to get it in the third game. I considered looking it up, but I don't know. Maybe I will. Uh, if I do find out how to get it, I will do a Dark Souls 3 version of this review. But yeah, the Morning Star was one of my favorite weapons in the second game. You know what? I can't use a shield. I'm not going to fight that guy because that is a freaking nightmare with this much health and no shield. So yeah, I think the Morning Star is very solid. For a strength weapon, it's not much endurance needed. I mean, stamina. It may look like I'm taking a lot of stamina, but I have 6 endurance. I simply just don't have much stamina is all. You could come to the Heights Tower of Flame with it early game, try to get some solid armor to pair with it. But the problem with that is, actually, believe it or not, I'm under level right now. I just really go with this weapon. So, I can't remember where I saw it, but Heights Tower of Flame is not a recommended area until you're level 36. I'm level 17. So as you can see, I am crazy under level. I'm taking hits like a boss, as well as inflicting them. And that's only if I get hit. Oh, and by the way, I'm doing this while with one eye because I have something in one of my eyes. So, I'm just that good with the Morning Star. Which, it's not that hard of a weapon to master. Like I said before, it's a very solid weapon. Offensively, it is such a beast that once you mastered the defense you need to work with it, you really don't have too much to worry about. Once you master the defense, like, the evasive statistics of it, or you have enough strength to use an 100 physical shield, you're pretty much set. Unfortunately, it does do bleed damage, which isn't the best. It is split damage. But that's sort of counteracted by it having pretty high physical strike even. Pretty high strike damage. Yeah. You see, so it's a hammer. It has strike damage. It has 110 base damage. But its scaling is pretty solid. It has a C scaling in strength without so much as leveling it up. I'm not 100% sure what the arrow and the guy getting pierced by a blade symbols mean. I think one of them is critical. But yeah, it actually has blood scaling, which, because there is no luck stat in the second game, would mean that as you scale strength, you get a bleed improvement. And if you guys know what the stats bleed, frost, and poison do in Dark Souls, you would know that scaling them improves the likelihood that they will happen, not their damage, because they do a percentage of damage. Anyways, that's what I think about the Morning Star in the second game. I hope to bring you my thoughts on it in the third game. if I can actually figure out how to get it. But as for now, that's what I think of the Morning Star in Dark Souls altogether.